Picture 3 first dates. 1988. A landline phone rings. Someone's parent answers. Awkward. 2008. A text pops up. You up? 2024. A swipe, a match, and a seen 2 hours ago. Same goal. Connection. Totally different rules. So here's the question. Did dating change, or did we change dating? Because when you compare Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z, it's not just new apps, it's a whole new psychology of romance. Over the last 5 decades, dating evolved from face-to-face courtship into a world of algorithm-driven platforms and multi-platform relationships. And by the end of this video, you'll know 1. How each generation meets and bonds. 2. Why swipe culture changed commitment. 3. And what the next era, AI plus immersive tech, might do to dating next. Let's time travel, generation by generation. For Gen X, dating was mostly local. You met through work, school, friends, social networks, the people you could physically run into. Communication was direct. Phone calls and face-to-face mattered. And because first impressions happened in real life, there was less control over how you were perceived. Translation, you couldn't optimize your brand. Your vibe was your vibe. Gen X also tended to see marriage as a primary goal of dating, and relationships often followed a linear progression: date to commit to marry. Key takeaway? Gen X dating was shaped by limited options, but that also meant fewer illusions. If you were dating someone, you were usually actually dating them. Millennials are the bridge generation. They watched dating move from, "that's weird," to, "that's normal." The research describes a massive adoption shift. Online dating went from negligible in the 1990s to involving about 1 in 5 people by 2012. That's not a trend. That's a social rewrite. Millennials also pioneered text-based communication as the default, and they were early adopters of platforms that defined an era. Think Match/OkCupid, and later app-based culture. But here's where it gets deeper. Millennials often show more ambivalence about marriage, partly linked in the report to being influenced by higher parental divorce rates. So the script became less automatic. And this is where dating begins to feel like a marketplace. More profiles, more options, and more second-guessing. Gen Z is the first generation where online dating is normalized from the start. And by 2016, the report cites that 65% of young adults, 18 to 24, were using dating platforms. But Gen Z dating isn't just apps. It's multi-platform integration. Dating apps plus social media plus messaging, plus whatever the group chat is saying. Also, Gen Z tends to be less intent on marriage, with more negative attitudes toward marriage reported among some app users compared to non-users. And Gen Z shows higher acceptance of diverse relationship structures, including broader acceptance of LGBTQ+ relationships and alternative structures. But here's the twist. One of the most important psychological findings in the report is that many users don't necessarily meet people through apps. They may use apps for validation and confidence boosts from matches. So sometimes the match becomes the reward, whether or not a relationship follows. That's not just new dating, that's a new emotional economy. The report applies something called McDonaldization to modern dating. The idea that systems start prioritizing efficiency, predictability, calculability, and control. In practice, it looks like this. Apps become information filters for efficiency. People use tech to control relationship progression. And online signals can become contested signs of commitment. And then we get swipe culture. The report notes that swipe-based interfaces can promote superficiality and appearance-based judgments. To be fair, efficiency can help people with limited time or limited social circles. But the tension is real. Speed versus depth. Optimization versus authenticity. One of the most important cautions: these trends aren't identical globally. For example, the report highlights that in the Philippines, dating apps may be widely adopted, while conservative values and religious ideals for marriage remain influential, including clear disapproval of hookup culture in some groups. So, the tech may be global, but dating norms are still shaped locally. The report points to emerging trends worth monitoring, especially AI-powered features like conversation assistance and compatibility prediction, and potential shifts toward virtual and augmented reality dating experiences. It also flags concerns about potential mental health impacts tied to digital dating, like anxiety, self-esteem issues, and the emotional cycle of rejection and comparison. So, the next era may bring even more connection and even more need for wisdom. So what's the bottom line? Takeaway number 1. If you're dating across generations, don't argue about the right way. Recognize you're playing by different default rules. Takeaway number 2. Balance the benefits of efficiency with the human need for depth, because connection isn't a checkout line. Takeaway number 3. Remember, culture matters. Technology shapes dating, but values still steer it. Now I want to hear from you. Which generation's dating style surprised you most? Gen X, Millennials, or Gen Z? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to share and hit like and subscribe.